next week, next Tuesday, October the 2nd. Activities start across the city of Houston, generally about 5:30 and go into 9, 10 o'clock at night. An opportunity for our neighbors to, enhance, embellish, or strengthen the relationship between neighbors and neighbors, but also with police officers and neighbors. I think it's really important this cycle around because there have been incidents that have occurred which are contributing to what I would call a dwindling level of trust between segments of the public and the Houston Police Department. And I would encourage broad, substantive community input into HPD's policy making process. There will always be questions about police officers training, about police officers discipline. And I can say clearly that Houston police officers are adequately trained. They are well trained. Just the nature of the work, just pure nature of being a police officer in a large city in America, from time to time, tragedy is going to strike. It's just simply going to strike. The Houston police officers are more likely to be confronted today by suspects who are younger, by suspects who are likely to be armed, they are more violent, and officers have to, if you would, engage all those situations, and you don't just leave it at the job when you go home. You take it with you. The next day is with you. The next month is with you. The next year is still with you. So we have to do what we can to ensure that the citizens understand and appreciate, what those men and women do every day in the street that we don't hear much about because they go out and do a relatively good job of servicing, about 2 million calls a year here in the Houston-Harris County area. They're doing a good job. But as I said, from time to time, tragedy will strike, and when it does, we have a process in place to deal with incidents. And the process works well in most instances. And let's use the process. And if we need to change the process, I would encourage us to separate the need to change the process from any particular incident that may be at hand, because there are things that happen during the process that must be adhered to. And we worked really hard over the years, over actually decades, to try to get all Houston citizens involved in the process. We have been successful in some instances we have not, just due to the fact that we had citizens protesting City Hall yesterday and spoke at a public session yesterday. Clearly leads me to believe that there's work to be done still. There are large segments of the community that still believe that they are disenfranchised, disconnected, and not engaged when it comes to how public safety services are delivered here in the city. Again, we won't wake up any given day and there will not be an incident where a Houston police officer or some other safety personnel is not involved in an incident. It's going to happen. Human beings, human behavior. The victim in this past week, tragic incident for the family. My sympathy goes out to the family of the victim and also for the Houston police officer involved in the incident. I can assure you that it is no small undertaking. It's very traumatic to have an experience that the officer endured this week. But again, if Houston is going to move forward and grow as it has in the past, we have to deal with these incidents and put preventive measures in place. Training is always good, but we can't wake up every day and say more training, more training, more training. We can't wake up every day and say more discipline, more discipline, more discipline. We have to understand that out of the 5,000 plus officers that are there, most of the men and women that are there are doing a good job and they're well supervised. But that doesn't mean that from time to time some officers going to do something that's outside protocol. It's outside of policy. It may be even outside of law. But we need a full inquiry to determine such. And until the inquiry is complete, until an investigation is complete, we simply don't know what happened. And I would encourage us to, for the benefit of the victim's family, for the benefit of the officers and our city, let investigations run their course. Thank you, Mayor.
Councilman Velasquez.
Thank you, Mayor. Every year, hundreds of thousands of teenagers in the United States quit high school or drop out without ever receiving a diploma. At Houston's Sharpstown High School, once described as a notorious dropout factory, a high-stakes experiment is underway to rescue students from the edge. Public Broadcasting System's Frontline program spent a semester immersed in Sharpstown to produce a portrait of 4 students in crisis, and the teachers and the counselors and the principal waging a daily personal struggle to get them to graduation. The lengths that each of these educators go through every day to give their students every chance to succeed are both inspiring and at times really heartbreaking. They truly go above and beyond the call of duty, and quite frankly, I think they are heroes. That show premiered last night on Channel 8, KUHT, and will be showing again this Sunday, September the 30th at 8 p.m., and I believe will also be available in some instances online. I hope that you'll take the time to watch this program and this powerful presentation, and I hope that each of us will be moved to not only encourage those educators to do the great work that they're doing, but maybe offer ourselves to help out. I want to thank, in particular, Principal Gasparello and his whole team. They are, again, heroes for Sharpstown and Southwest Houston. I hope that each and every one of you will feel free to join me and the Sharpstown Civic Association for their annual Candidates Night Out this coming Thursday evening at 6:30 p.m. at the Sharpstown Recreation Center at Harbortown Boulevard. And Mayor, again, I want to thank you for being out there with us last week as we turned dirt, so to speak, on the Bel Air reconstruction project. Always proud to have you in Sharpstown. Thank you.
Councilmember Davis.
Thank you, ma'am. Just a couple of words. A few celebrations in the district last week. New Pleasant Grove Missionary Baptist Church installed their new pastor, and actually the ballet, Houston Ballet, brought in Atherton Elementary out of the 5th Ward catchment garden area, and it was very interesting how they combined history with dance. They would show pictures on the screen, talk about the